Good evening, everybody. Have you or somebody that you love been diagnosed with Crohn's disease, gastroparesis, diabetes, and or high cholesterol? If you have, stay tuned and I'll be right back with you. So hey everybody, I'm back, and today I want to talk to you about Crohn's disease, gastroparesis, diabetes, and high cholesterol. And I know that's a lot to take in, but I want to do them all together because the recent diagnoses with me. We know that I've had Crohn's disease, and I'm pretty daggone sure I've had it since I was a kid, and I've been just misdiagnosed all these years. Back in 1980, they didn't have all the equipment and tests that they have now that they were able to use to diagnose me. And then I also have gastroparesis and was finally diagnosed 2 years ago, and I was quickly had an appointment with the GI Motility Clinic here in Louisville, which is a specialized clinic just for gastroparesis, and most usually people have to wait 3 to 6 months up to a year to be seen. But I got lucky. My group of doctors that I have are all specialties, and I have the best group of doctors, for my surgeons, my GIs, you name it. I have the best of the best, and I got all of the best of the best by talking to from one doctor that would get me to another doctor, and I had the best team of doctors ever. Anyway, so talking about that, my surgeon got me into the GI Motility Clinic, but my regular GI is in with the GI Motility Clinic, and that is what got me in within 2 weeks. So I didn't have to wait the 36 months up to a year to be seen in the GI Motility Clinic. So I was really lucky there. Anyway, so I was diagnosed actually a year ago. I don't remember what day. Anyway, but I was diagnosed with gastroparesis. Okay, and so then, so I got my blood test results back last week, and they called, left a message for me to call them back. Well, you know, doctors don't call and tell you to call them back if it's something good. Usually they just leave me a voicemail. Until your test back, blah, 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 and you can check it on my turn. Okay. So I called him back, and they informed me that I had become a diabetic, and we're going to do more tests, and my cholesterol was extremely too high, and there was something else, and it wasn't that important. Oh, yeah, I was anemic. Well, I've been anemic. I'm always going to be anemic, because with Crohn's disease, there's always something inside you bleeding at all times. That's just part of Crohn's, because Crohn's disease, it doesn't just inflame you. It eats away at the layers of your intestines. And that's the difference between IBS and IBD. IBS is just inflammation. Non-damaging inflammation. Crohn's disease is damaging inflammation and sores and ulcers and all that good junk. So I'm always anemic, because I'm always bleeding somewhere inside me. And it's not because I have periods, because I have not had a period for over a year. I'm going through menopause. So that's not it. So I wasn't terribly too concerned about the anemic part. So now both of those are affecting me with the Crohn's and the gastroparesis. And I'll tell you why. Because Crohn's and gastroparesis has something to do with your gastrointestinal parts. Well, diabetes and cholesterol affect you also in that way, because you have to watch what you eat in that aspect. But with Crohn's and cholesterol, you also have to watch what you eat. And with Crohn's and gastroparesis, you don't always eat what's the best for you. You eat what is not going to make you sick. I don't eat a lot anyway, because I'm satisfied very early. I get full very quickly. I get extremely bloated. I look like I'm like 5 months pregnant. I get nauseous. I may vomit. I might try to eat the last bite or another bite of something, and I literally just start chewing it and just spit it out, because I cannot finish chewing it up and swallowing it. So what I'm not supposed to eat with diabetes and cholesterol, my cholesterol being 2.5 times what it's supposed to be. So my cholesterol is for me, you, and then somebody else. It's high enough for all of us. So what I eat isn't what I need to be eating with diabetes and cholesterol, because it's not good for it. So I'm just kind of sitting here, and I asked him, and I'm like, well, I have Crohn's and gastroparesis. What am I supposed to eat? And I mean, I didn't mean for it to sound rude or nothing, but I mean, they're telling me, don't eat this, don't eat that, don't. I'm like, well, that's the only thing I can eat. I mean, it's easy to digest. It's not big bulks. Like eating a chicken popper like I did last night, and I ate 3 of them today, and now I'm stuffed. And those are a little bit harder for me to digest, and I get very full very quickly. And I remember talking about chicken poppers like this big. That's it. 3. That's it. And all I ate earlier was a 1/4 cup of oatmeal. So, I mean, I'm not eating a whole lot. And so I'm thinking that because gastroparesis, it is, my stomach is not pumping for itself, to say. That's why I have the stimulator, because it is a muscle, much like your heart, and your heart pumps, and if it's not pumping on its own, that's why they get a pacemaker. And that's what my stomach's doing. My stomach doesn't pump for itself, so that's why I got this gastric stimulator. But it still needs a little help, because my stomach's not doing it for it. And I still don't empty like I'm supposed to be. I emptied chili the other night, and I had it, last time I ate chili was on Tuesday night, and last night, and this is just to show you just how long food sits in my stomach. I think I emptied out my bag Thursday night. Yeah, Thursday night. And notice this. Okay, so I ate chili last time in the afternoon on Tuesday, and I left the remaining for my husband, for him to eat for dinner. And I'm always watching the output, because I watch for blood and a few other things, and I thought I seen blood. No, it wasn't. It was red bell pepper from the chili. Now, remember, I ate the last bowl of chili Tuesday, like noon, maybe 2 o'clock on Tuesday, and this is Thursday night. and I'm now seeing it. I should be seeing the food from breakfast, but I'm not. I'm still seeing food over the course of 2 days. So I'm thinking because my stomach still isn't working, that the insulin is going up and down, because the food's still sitting there. And if food's still sitting there, you know, your pancreas isn't able to work, and so it's just, it doesn't know what to do, because there's nothing for it to do, because my stomach's not working. I'm trying to hit those areas because, you know, that's some things that I guess, I don't know if I'm sure, God, I'm not the only person who have these issues. There's got to be other people out there. Or maybe I'm just making myself more aware of it because it's happening to me. I don't know. But either way, I'm going to get some answers when I go back. And my pacemaker hasn't been zapping me like it was when I made that one video of it. You see it clenching and moving, and it's not doing that anymore. So it has definitely it's not doing its job. So yeah, I'm gonna have to have another adjustment, and I don't. It's kind of nervous. I'm kind of nervous because you know, the stimulator's not the cure. It's for symptoms. It's supposed to help me feel better. It's supposed to help me from having overwhelming nausea and vomiting, and that's what it was for, and that's why there's an appeal process with it, and everything you have done with it is an appeal process, because insurances still say that it is a experimental, even though it's been over 10 years. And it's said to be a humanitarian device because it's not curing anything. It's just making your life better. And anything's better than feeling like you just want to rip your stomach and your chest open. It's not a pretty disease that anybody wants to have. Neither is Crohn's disease, and so I don't know. I just wanted to bring that out there because I started thinking about it. I started talking to my husband about it, and we both have kind of came to the conclusion that the more we talked about it and talked about the gastroparesis and Crohn's, that we do think that this is a part of what's happening because my stomach still isn't working right, and that this is definitely a part of the gastroparesis. And maybe once we get the gastroparesis under control and my stomach starts emptying more, that maybe we'll start seeing something better. But until then, I guess I'm just going to be put on medication. I'm not really worried about medication for diabetes. I can watch my diet and maintain that. But the cholesterol, I had really no clue, and that's bad. But I don't, and I look it up online, and it doesn't give me much information. So the only thing I think of is that I need to be put on medication because I already have heart problems, and so yeah, I think they need to go ahead and put me on something for the cholesterol, and Zocor, Lipitor, any of that. Even if it's just a small dose, anything's better than nothing. And so I think that is I think that's the route that we need to go. So I don't want to have a stroke, and I sure don't want to have a heart attack, because that's what's going to happen, because that's what cholesterol does. Cholesterol, it builds plaque in your veins, and it can either go to your brain and cause you to have a stroke, a small stroke or a major stroke, or you can have it go to your heart and have heart attack, cardiac arrest. And I mean, either way, it's not anything good. So I think I want the cholesterol taken care of, and and I can do something with the diabetes. That can be managed. You can get she can write me an order for the test strips, the glucometer, and all that, and I can manage that at home. But I think, with gastroparesis and all that, I think the high cholesterol definitely needs to be addressed, and soon. So I hope that because of my issues, that if anybody else out there is having the same thing, or knows somebody that does, I hope that I've helped you. And if I have, or if you have any questions, then please leave them in the comments, and like this page and subscribe. And you guys have a good night, because it is 5 till 12 here. And have a good weekend. I'll see you later. Good night.